Hi everyone, welcome to the next episode of TrexTalk. And today we'll be going through some of very interesting questions probably Matthew and me can relate to. So let's kickstart this podcast. So Matthew, what is one of the most memorable viewing that you had before?
I think most memorable, is during the COVID, when the circuit breaker, right? I never experienced this type of thing before, right?
Nobody experienced before.
So at first I thought, holiday lo. Because really cannot go out, man. Cannot do viewing, cannot do everything.
So it's holiday.
Yeah, no choice holiday. I take a break, all these things. But after a while, I think our company actually step out. We actually must do something like do virtual viewing.
Yes.
For circuit breaker, we cannot visit house, all these things, man. So what we do, I ask my client to help me take a video of the house. Then he sent me the video, right? Then I zoom with the buyer. I play pause to show the house in terms of
it's literally virtual viewing.
Virtual viewing. Then after that, right? At first I don't believe in a way. How do I sell like that? Because we must do. When you buy a house, right?
Where will people buy house through video, right?
Yeah. I feel the space. I tell him the house very big there. Then the video. I don't know how they feel the space lah. So subsequently, the buyer response was okay. I think they're quite keen lah. Then we went down to the unit itself, but we cannot go in. We cannot visit ma.
Another phase.
Yeah, another phase. Of course, all this we done in the proper manner, but we cannot visit.
Yeah.
So we go to the unit. I said, this is the door. Like that. Then we get a staircase. This is the environment.
Yeah.
So they cannot see the house, but they only can see the environment, then the park, all this things.
Because cannot get in contact. Yeah, okay.
Then from there, they actually made an offer. And we closed the unit.
So it can be done, no?
It can be done. Then I think
COVID really changes a lot of things. So that's the one you have, huh?
I think the most memorable, but because after that, back to normal, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think I definitely agree with what Matthew says because during the circuit breaker COVID times, in fact, I have transacted quite a fair bit of units just by doing a virtual meeting. Okay, I think it is quite amazing because we will never have thought that how come people can buy a house, rent a house just through video. But likewise, everything can be done. Yeah. Even I think up to today, if there's an overseas potential prospect who wants to so-called view a house, in fact, they are also willing to just buy a house like that. It is still happening, but not that common anymore as compared to during the COVID time. So probably I also share one of the most memorable viewing, which just happened, I think, end of last year, 2024. So I bought this group of purchaser, okay, to see a unit located in the central of Singapore. Okay, it's a HDB. It's quite funny because I have never expect this kind of situation before. So before we step into the house, this particular agent say, please take off your shoes. Then you say, okay, quite common, just taking off. So just to tell a little bit of the history of the house, this house is vacant now. Then you say, okay, sure. But the owner committed suicide in the house. Then okay, in the house. So I was looking at the buyer. Then the buyer give me one look like, okay. So we still proceed on to go inside. So when we were inside the house, then the agent was saying, by the way, this unit is owned by 3 brothers previously. Then I say, okay. So the first brother passed on in the hospital. The second brother committed suicide in the house. The third brother passed on in the house. Then I like, wow, this house is suay or heng one. So never mind. When we go into one particular room, actually I got the picture also. I think I showed it to you all previously. This is the place where the owner hanged himself. Like, hello? Seriously, you going to tell all this?
This agent?
Very open. So never mind. After which we were inside the house, then we go into another room. Then the agent say, by the way, don't touch anything. The owner don't like. They're like, but the owner already passed on. Why are you telling all this to scare people off? So after which I actually, after the entire viewing, I did a quick check on the website. So there's this news article whereby it actually stated that it is not necessary to speak about all this history to any potential prospect. Because yeah, it's just not necessary.
Unless us lah.
Unless the potential prospect actually asks.
But maybe he's faced a lot of this type of question already, so 他做躺平。
Yeah, I think
show hand 给你。
very frank lah. I think frank is good thing lah. But the way the agent put it across is like very scary lor. It makes me like, then I come here for it. You should have just told me over the phone first instead of making a trip down there just to see this one particular unit, because that area itself is a very popular area. So the supply itself is always on a very low supply. Yeah, so this is one of the most memorable one.
Or maybe the agent scared lah. Really, if the buyer buy later found out, right, then he go and, I mean, of
But
course there's no wrong, but he don't want this type of trouble.
Okay, maybe. So, but end of the day, the unit was still being sold lah.
Yeah.
So, no right, no wrong. I also don't know. Okay. Next question we have: is it common for a potential client to cancel a viewing last minute? So, do you have any example to share with our viewers here?
I think it's not very common, but it happens lah.
It happens.
It happened last week for me also.
Okay.
For example, at first we have arranged 2 p.m. right? Suddenly the agent say, "Hey, can I change to 2:30?" I mean 2:30. I check my seller. Seller say okay. So I reply, "Hey, 2:30 okay." Then suddenly say, "Sorry, today 2:30 cannot. Can I change to tomorrow 4 p.m.?" Then I say, "Huh?" Okay, so I check already. Hey, sorry, tomorrow Sunday buyer
Got something on?
not free, so cancel everything.
Okay.
So
in the end, did they
never come back?
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's uncommon, but because usually before 1 or 2 hours before my viewing, I always go and confirm the appointment. If the person don't reply, I will call. If I call, they don't pick up, I won't go. Because I don't want to be later, I go there later, suddenly nobody
I think
show.
it's very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
It's all about frustration lah. Because ultimately, if you were to arrange already and then you change last minute, I think it's also not very nice for example, the seller to be waiting in the house.
Yes, yes.
Because they may already have shelved out their other plans just to conduct this viewing.
Correct.
So I think end day is all about responsibility.
But it happens lah. But we also need to understand from agent perspective. We know that late is very common because
Late is common.
because we schedule like that nicely, right? But one party on the top late lah, it affects everyone already because everyone got their own appointment, right?
Yes.
Then everyone all spill over already.
Correct.
We know lah. So sometimes late we understand. But don't
last minute
Don't
lah.
last minute. Don't come. No show or something like that lah.
For me, not even last minute. Didn't even show up, ghosted on me. Call, text, also don't want to answer.
Yeah, that's why I always try to confirm. Hey, you coming? You make sure. I mean, you coming lah. You know, make sure there's a yes or no. Yeah, at least if they say yes, they never turn up. Wow, I can. Hey.
Yes, true. Yeah, so I think late is common, but ghosted is really something I think is a responsible thing lah.
Yeah,
responsibility
so
is
timing is quite hard to gauge sometimes. I think.
Yeah,
no
I
choice.
totally understand. I can feel you. Okay, so the next question is, what is the one most important thing to take note when conducting a viewing, or one tips that you have when it comes to conducting viewing?
Most important, I think resale, right? We're talking about resale, viewing.
Resale.
I think I always feel that I need to make the place an environment that the buyers come, right, they will feel comfortable and conducive lah. That's why I always go for viewing maybe 15 minutes before. Sometimes I can chit chat with the owner. Then I see if the things are like sometimes messy or something can shift to keep. I will do that lor. So that when the person comes, when the potential buyer comes to the place, right, they can feel, hey, this is something that I can stay. Although sometimes we meet sellers say, need to do all these things, man. They want to buy the house, they buy the house, But to me, I feel based on my experience, right, a more a better feel, right? When it comes in, the vibes is good, right? It will actually create a higher offer.
That means that once you step into the house, there's this I can feel as a home.
I think
the vibe lah.
Correct. I mean, then it will actually create an offer easier. I mean, as human, we tend to be negative. Okay, for me lah. So we will always remember the bad things. So today if I go in the house I see something I don't like I will only remember the thing I don't like. But if I can make it that I can eliminate all these things, right? Then I can remember all the good things. Then if other house that the buyer view, right, he only remember the bad thing, I win already.
True. That means you are taking away most of the negative things in the house lah.
Correct. And recently, I got another listing at Riverfront, right? A 2-bedroom, right? I was the last unit. So the buyer actually came out to the house, right? I mean, they walk around. Hey, they say, hey, actually, your unit is the best one that we actually view lah.
You created an impression for them lah.
Correct. We pack. Like my seller is very cooperative. They clean up. They make sure the things is tidy. Everything not because 2-bedroom is very very small ma.
Yep.
Then they also make a point that they also go down to relax lah when for viewing, so that we have more. When the buyers come, right, they feel the space.
Feel more space.
More comfortable. Then when comfortable, they sometimes will say out things that they like, all these things. Then we can actually have a more better conversation during the viewing, rather than sometimes, you know, when I serve buyers, sometimes buyers go to a house, right, when the seller is inside, right, then the seller watching TV. So actually the TV spot actually is the most important one, because there's a window over there. And then buyers want to go there and see.
Buyers will say, hey, sorry.
Sorry. Then they stand there. Actually, that one is the best in one of the selling point. You can get to see your view every day, but they only can stand there like 1 or 2 minutes because they feel they are disturbing the
owner.
The owner.
Yeah.
So hard lah.
So I think it is good to really declutter the house or that kind of thing. If not worse comes to worse, we can always advise potential prospect about, we are actually selling the 4 walls only. So you just come in, imagine all these things are gone. You are just buying a layout, because whatever that you need to do, you can always do up to your own taste at the end of the day, if you really were to be the one who purchased the house.
This is another way lah.
Of course lah. Yeah, there's a lot of ways lah. Yeah. So next question we have. So what are some of the weirdest question a client has asked you during a viewing?
Actually, I don't have any weird question like I think for your experience, but my experience is a lot of this question, like buyer will ask me, why is the seller selling the house? So in my mind, actually I would always think, actually you ask this question for what? Well, should I say that?
Of course.
I was asked like, hey, why are you asking me this question? Like when the client wants to sell house, sometimes there are good things, there are bad things, and these are actually personal stuff that the sellers share to us as agent. It's not for public because they trust us. They sell. Hey, today why I sell house? Because sometimes people sell house because they want to upgrade. But sometimes they sell house because they want to downgrade. So or they need the money.
And some will think that downgrade then this house not very good leh. This house next time is become a downgrade, I cannot upgrade
Like for example, downgrade also sometimes is because they right sizing right? We want to retire all this. But you might perceive this thing as maybe the seller is urgent, then maybe want to sell at a lower price, all these things. I don't know, you ask me this question, I also don't know how to answer. But usually I just tell the generic stuff but I think most agents will tell the generic stuff, right? Yeah,
usually lah.
Like for example, won't like the agent, right? Like why the seller selling it off? Because the owner died already.
The owner hang himself themselves.
I mean, I won't do that lah.
Yeah. So they always like to ask this: is the seller serious to sell?
Yeah.
Urgent to sell. They're like, why do you need to know all this?
Urgent, you're not urgent. You give me the offer, then we talk
So if I tell you if it's urgent, then you give me a lower pricing, is it? Then why should I be telling you all this? Then you are asking all this also don't make sense.
But because the question don't translate to like no point. The question we feel no point. At the end of the day, is the right offer that came in, right? Correct. Even my client's urgent, it's not like it's like we're gonna lay long my
I'm not gonna sell like 100,000-200,000 lower.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. Maybe 10,000-20,000. Okay, I totally understand. Then if you're expecting for a lower kind of purchase price, then cannot be lah.
Cannot, then I also can answer to the seller
If you want to answer to the seller say, what comes so low? Because I tell them you are urgent to sell. Cannot be also Yeah, so a bit weird lah. Some of them when they comes to asking.
No, sometimes they ask the question we also don't know how to reply.
No lah, my seller not urgent one. No rush one.
Then they might think that you're not serious. But actually we are serious to sell.
So you see when you tell them this seller already going to take their BTO. Then they were like, okay, this one very serious to sell.
No, they got timeline, so any offer I can try, lowball you. But it's not like that,
It's not like that. It's still selling at market price.
Correct.
So next question we have any of your clients ever bought a property without actually viewing it? Okay, I think this one is relating more towards during probably COVID timing.
So after then I mentioned, right, after I sold the HDB without any viewing of the house, right? Then I also during COVID sold a new launch park amenities to a buyer lah. We did everything through Zoom. We didn't meet. We need Zoom, and we go through the virtual tour, the tagger, click. You walk here is like that. You walk here like that, and we are buying something. The show flat don't have one.
The show flat,
So what it is that your living room is agak like that. We go through floor plan. All these things. Then,
sell by floor plan.
Sell by floor plan. Then we just go by the virtual door, something like that. Then your view is something like that. Everything is something like that. But of course, I provide the data like today. Why is it a good buy? Because based on park amenities, right? Today your neighbors the resale price is actually very close to a new launch. So these are some of the fundamentals that I actually do for my client.
So
like
it's more of the stats and data that you showcase to the client
to bring their risk to the lowest. So today, if a resale and a new launch, right, 就是一个旧车跟新车 right， 差不多一样价钱, it doesn't make sense 嘛。So new will be safer in terms of investment lah. So because we always go in the first owner, so actually from there.
So the owner still holding on to it, huh?
Sell already, upgrade, elevate.
Yes, of course.
And we sold and we bought a freehold lor.
Yeah, I think back then anybody who bought during the COVID time will really earn quite a fair bit lah.
So which is why we can see right now why a lot of people like why the projects are doing very well, right? It's because the resale has gone up so much, and the price is very near to the new one.
Correct.
So today you have to choose whether if you are buying on state, of course resale lah. But today if you have this investment element into your purchase of course the new one makes more sense because the gap is so close. I say that's why the launch are doing quite well because the price is really acceptable.
So of course I think importantly over here is because now it's already post-COVID, so naturally if possible, I mean this is to avoid like being scammed because like the past 1 year we have still see scammers still scamming people using video just to close the deal, all that kind of thing.
Rental scam.
So likewise again, right now if you were to ask me, it is advisable for potential viewers, please don't be lazy. Make your trip down to see the property itself, do the due diligence, check everything, even if it comes to renting a house, leasing a house, or purchasing a house. I think that is the most appropriate and correct methods to actually do all this. Alright? So we have come to the end of this podcast for today. So thank you, Matthew, and then we will see you guys soon in the next episode of TrexTalk.